All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 19th regular board meeting of the Monroe Local School Board of Education.
What's happening? Sorry, I apologize.
Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Carpenter,
Present.
Mr. Fulham,
Present.
Mr. Grant,
Present.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Present.
Mr. Leeds.
Present.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Fulham. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Section 2, Board Liaison and Committee Updates. Item 2.1, Legislative.
I got a couple items. First of all, talked to Thomas Holliday, and they go into caucus tomorrow on various things up at the State House. He was supposed to get back to me on what exactly they're going to talk about, but he didn't. But the two things that I want to bring up are the phones, the cell phones. That passed the Senate 30-2, and so it goes to the House now, and it will be, they did change the wording to the instructional hours versus the whole day. So I assume between classes you can use your cell phone.
Don't we already have a policy that addresses that anyway?
Yeah, that's our policy now, I believe.
Yeah, that was the whole state that they're talking about. And DeWine said he'd sign it just as soon as the Senate or the House got finished with it. So it'll be in effect, I assume, this coming year. The next thing is property taxes. The AG has given them approval to move on with this, with their legal stuff. They have to get 400,000 signatures to have it on the fall ballot. I don't think that's going to be a problem to get that kind of signatures.
I think it'll be very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
Is this for the elimination of property tax?
The elimination of property taxes. And one thing that might be a silver lining, I don't know. 20-some years ago, this thing was declared unconstitutional on funding for schools. And it could be a wake-up call. Legislatures, you better get busy and get this thing taken care of the way it was supposed to be 20-some years ago, because it's going to happen. And the problem is, eliminating the property taxes, yeah, it affects the schools, but it affects mental health, it affects libraries, everything that's funded by the property taxes, and that's a lot of stuff. The next thing I want to bring up is, has nothing to do with the legislature, but I wanted to give you an update on the driveway out of the complex here. I did talk to Larry Lester, and he said that the road has nothing to do with the road. That's all county. I've talked to the county, and they're to get back to me on what has to be done. The township has nothing to do with the road. And I told them that we are not going to be in the conversation about anything at 63 and Yankee. That's not ours. We're not going to be involved. So I'm not going to make a motion, but I would make a suggestion. To speed things up, I think we need to go ahead and get an engineering group to for the road itself in the way we feel that it needs to be done. If you're going to have a swing at the bottom to do a right turn only, get it drawn up and get it engineered where we can, for compaction and drainage and all that stuff. So as soon as they tell us we can move, we got it done. We were ready to go. We hire somebody to come in and start the driveway. Otherwise, it's going to take a few weeks to do the engineering work after you get an engineer. Because I think you have to, don't you have to put that out for bid, Robert?
Yeah, the unfortunate part about that, Tom, is that we've hired the engineering firm, but the first step is the traffic study, and the county is not approving the traffic study, so the engineering firm can't move forward with the next steps.
Well, that's part of what the county's gonna have to get done.
So I actually have them, after we spoke this afternoon, or this morning, I talked to our attorney, who we sent that letter to the county saying we're not, we're willing to be partners and work on whatever turn lane into the building, connected with the drive, but we're not responsible for the intersection at 63. And it cited case law where that's been upheld before, and we've heard nothing back from the county at all, with reaching out a couple times. So we have a follow-up meeting with our internal team, including the attorneys, to see what our next steps can be, because I agree with you. I mean, this is ridiculous that
It is.
they're holding it up. We should have had their phone number, the county engineer's phone number, posted at the bottom of the hill Friday
Right.
after graduation.
Right.
Yes.
So the guy at the county, he was out of the office today, and I expect to hear from him tomorrow, if not, I'm gonna call him, find out what's going on.
So
But
if
how
we
long
just
would it
put
take?
in a driveway, and what are they gonna do about it? They're gonna,
It doesn't affect the driveway going down the hill, it's to tie on the road.
yeah, what would they tie it into the road?
Well, the problem is they want
What
you
are
to
they
set
gonna
it.
do about it?
They want you to set it, well, they'll make you tear it up and redo it.
Yeah.
You mean we could
Stop it.
actually get them on the phone and actually get them to interact with us at that point?
For that, they would probably get right on the phone right away, but I said, let's build it and stop 6 inches from the road.
Just put gravel down, everybody
Gravel,
just drive
and then
on
when
top
they
of
get
it.
done messing around, then we can.
Fill it
tie
in.
Yeah.
I like this plan.
Or just put, plywood over top of it.
Right. Sell tickets.
Little
Some
bridge.
pavers.
It is very frustrating, but we are continuing to work at it
Yeah.
and try to get, so if you hear anything from the county, please send them my
Well,
way as well.
I've asked them to call you direct and to get this thing off the dead center. I said, we're gonna build the damn thing, whether you do anything about it or not. You
Agreed.
didn't like that too well, but that's too bad.
Yep.
I mean, it's terrible.
I agree. It's been, what, almost 3 years?
3
since we've
years.
had this conversation, so,
Going on forward.
yeah, going on.
It was, you talked about it during my interview,
Yes.
Yes.
so.
To echo, going back to what you mentioned, I saw a report on the news over the weekend. I think it was on I was watching the PGA, so it was on CBS. Cincinnati Public Schools, I guess, has implemented the phone policy, and they were talking about how their success rate in the classrooms has went up significantly.
Shocker.
And without the phones without the phones being utilized in the classroom, so.
And the funny part about that is, there's a article in the paper this morning, foreign countries say that eliminating the cell phone hasn't been a thing. Hasn't helped out a bit as far as their education goes. Norway and some of the others that said it, European countries said it, didn't do anything.
To each their own.
I question that, because I think it's a huge distraction.
I do too. That's all I got. We need to move on the driveway though. Something's gotta be done.
If you build it, they will come.
They will come.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Item 2.2, Butler Tech, Mr. Guido.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I don't have a big update. Everybody's getting ready for the end of school. I wanted to start off by congratulating Tom, I don't see him, but, and the team for an amazing graduation you guys had. And whoever planned the day around the weather, that's like, is that 3 years in a row that that's
Decided
happened?
that we just have to send the email saying we might move it, and then weather is fine. We've done that twice.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic, because the next day was rough. Tomorrow night is the Butler Tech graduation at Centos Center, so if anybody wants to attend, let me know. Parking's kind of a mess down there. They're doing some construction, and they said that it's a little bit of a mess. So if anybody has a graduate, get down there early, so you're not stuck in traffic getting there. So we're getting to the point where that is filling up the Centos Center. So great time, and congratulations to all the Monroe graduates. I asked for a count today, but the program is not finished, so I'll provide you an update at our next meeting. I want to thank Amy and Tom and Debbie, and Robert was there at the showcases that we had. That has evolved over time. It feels much more relevant. I think the kids understand a little bit more what they're doing, and I think the people that are attending it also are a little more engaged and happy. I like the changes that they've made. Instead of having a sit-down dinner and also having a dinner outside in the tent, they moved it inside because of the weather. But I think it worked out better that way. You could kind of come and eat when you wanted to, and go see the presentations as you wanted to. There's just way too many presentations going on to see all of them, so it is overwhelming, but the ones that I saw, the kids did a fantastic job, so they truly enjoy your presence there, so thank you for those who attended. Building update, I don't know if you guys have been down I-75 or up Route 4, but we have structural steel going in on all of the buildings now, so that's a good thing. I did do a tour of the AmHub building out in Hamilton, our joint project with my university, and that place is just going to be phenomenal. So that just continues to grow with the partnerships that we have out there, and it's exciting to see what's going on there. The aviation thing, it looks like this kind of crazy design. It's the way we felt with the National Science Center when it went up, and it's starting to take shape. It kind of looks like the drawing, so we can kind of see what that looks like. So yeah, exciting to see what happens there. I'm scheduled to go to DC in the beginning of June 2nd through the 6th. So we'll do that annual trip that we've always done. And then quickly followed after that, we're supposed to go to the State House. And Tom, we're following the property tax update as closely as you are. As Attorney General Yost said in the paper today, it's going to cause potential chaos. So just when you think you've got everything settled out, another one comes down the pike. So Amy, I know you're attending the treasurer meetings, so that'll be interesting as that goes on. So great year, everybody. Appreciate everybody's support. And do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I thought your function down there was fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's always a good time to see the students and the showcases and all the activities and watching. I watched the show on stage where they did a, I don't know, 5-10 minute performance of all.
I mean,
the
it was
songs.
almost a full musical. I couldn't believe it.
It was just fascinating. The just to watch the kids and their potential, and to see all the booths with the entrepreneurs. And there's a company. One of the students started a business of doing lights, like Christmas lights, and they had a contract for downtown Dayton for like $40,000. Like, it's real business. So it's pretty fascinating to see all of that and the success that the kids are having. So.
Yeah, they started an entrepreneurship center there a few years back, and that's what that's part of. We actually engaged with, there's the photography people that do the videos that are on our website. You guys have probably seen some of that in some of the social media pictures. Well, they have a business that they've started doing that, and so I've engaged them at my work to come and potentially take headshots of all of us. That's one of our employee appreciation gifts to our employees, because if you've ever been on LinkedIn, people don't look like they look like on LinkedIn usually. I don't know what my picture looks like, but it probably needs to be updated. Don't be Googling. And then there's another student that her and her father started an AI company, and it's engaging AI technology for business. And we're going to have a sit-down meeting with her as well, because I'm at an age where I don't understand hardly any of it. So I just want to hear what she has to say. It seems interesting to kind of engage some of that. So thank you for mentioning that. Anything else?
Do you have your speech ready?
Well, I've changed it like 6 times, but yeah, they're not there to hear me anyway. They're here to watch their kid walk across the stage. So the shorter, the better for me, as you know. So it should be good. Excited. Is that it?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent.
Mr. Guido. All right, moving along to item 2.3, Finance Subcommittee.
We haven't met.
We
Well-
haven't met.
Well, we met, but we haven't had time to discuss that. Have we? 'Cause I didn't-
We met on May 7th and the forecast, we talked about the
who was gonna talk
forecast.
or not, so I'm gonna say we have,
Sorry, there was miscommunication between AJ and myself. It's okay.
we have not met to follow up on that.
Strike one.
You'll get the full report.
Well, we're gonna get the full report from Amy during her treasure
Yes.
report.
We talked about the
Okay.
forecast and it'll be presented tonight.
All right.
Thank you, Amy.
Good cover.
Bill,
Moving along to item 2.4, Student Achievement.
On that note, so I have a few things I'd like to mention, that the Monroe High School Symphonic Band received an overall rating of 2 at the OMEA State Large Group competition. They received 3 2s from the judges on the floor and one from the sight reading judge, so congratulations to them. And the theater group also is recognized for the most outstanding musical and play for the Miami Valley High School Theater Awards ceremony. That ceremony will be at the Schuster Performing Arts Center in Dayton on June 5th, so congratulations to them as well. The chorale choir received an excellent rating of a 2, and the women's choir received a superior rating of 1, and this was their first year participating, so to get a 1 your first year is pretty exciting. So then I would like to invite Mr. Stanger, who's going to be introducing some 8th grade students and their service learning project.
We actually have 2 cast members on the
Okay, congratulations.
All right, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board and just present. I've got some phenomenal students behind me. Mrs. Hagedorn, thank you for the opportunity to address the community. To Tom and the high school team and to the board, graduation, huge success. So that's something we want to highlight too. That's terrific. So got some future graduates here, and they've worked very hard on this presentation, and just want to highlight the great things that they've done through this. So we, for the longest time at the junior high and even at the high school level, we've tried to figure out what to do with Hive and Hornet time. It's a 30-minute block that, you know, it's while the other building is having lunch, we're trying to figure out how to maximize that time and really just contribute to the good things that we're doing in the building. So our 8th grade students, these are service learning projects. They're going to talk a little bit more about really what they've done, how it's impacted the community, and really how it's helped them develop to be better citizens, which ultimately is a strong goal of ours as a district. So I'm super proud of this group. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them really quick. So Alyssa Burgoyce, okay, Brinley McIntyre, Ariana Turco, Jack Nuremberg, and Samtucci Anya. So they are going to be high schoolers next year, and they're also members of our student council. And Mrs. Boggs played a huge part in that. She's currently our 8th grade social studies teacher, and she's going to be our Dean of Students 7 through 12 next year. So really going to see this program kind of continue to have legs for both buildings moving forward. So Mrs. Boggs, I'll kick it to you.
One more, Logan. Mr. Stanger kind of went over the purpose of our projects that we're doing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the procedures before the students actually explain their projects. So each teacher on staff selected their service project that they would like to host. It was very important to us that our teachers had some buy-in with these projects. And from there, the students were presented with those options. They chose their top 3, and then Mr. Stanger and myself sorted the students into their respective home bases for these projects. So from there, we started the projects with team building, getting to know you, trying to build those collaboration skills. From there, the students set SMART goals for their projects, created their action plans, implemented those action plans. Afterwards, they did self-reflection, and then from there, they actually presented their projects to the rest of the student body. So that's what you're going to see today, is a highlight from those projects. So the project options that were chosen by our staff were letters to military families from within the Monroe community, a campus cleanup project, bulletin boards for our cafeteria and hallways, bilingual campus inspirational quotes, interviews with community members, locker recognition for extracurriculars, nutrition and healthy living, and children's books for Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Mr. Russell, would you pull up the website, please? Okay.
Perfect.
So the first hive was ran by Miss Keneally. As you can see, we talked about multiple different things about like food, so chemicals, dyes, and we even went over a nutrition label and kind of pinpointed what each and everything on there means.
So for the second hive, the letters to military families was led by Mr. Hine. His hive was given the task of writing letters to the families of servicemen and women. These groups of service families often have little to no recognition, so it was really important for our group to write really good and meaningful letters. We wrote to a total of 35 families, and around we have a letter written by one of the members of our house. That has been passed out to you. Next, we have interviews with community members, and this is a video from their hive explaining what the project was about.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. Our SMART goal is to interview about 60 to 20 community members and get to know about them. This is important because we get an opportunity to learn more about those around us and how unique everyone is and their lives.
Hi, my name is Delaney, and we made this achievable by moving in about 2 months. And interviewing people gives them a chance to be heard and understood.
Hi, my name is Julia. We decided to pursue this project because we wanted to help our community evolve. We did this by tracking and monitoring on a spreadsheet that will be updated daily.
Our team felt that hardworking community members were not being recognized enough, so we wanted to give them a chance to get their stories out. We decided to do this through conducting interviews with community members to give them a chance to feel seen and heard.
Starting in January, each team has had lots of dedication and research and set up the perfect way to get their words out. This has been our goal for the last 2 months. Each team among this group has put time and effort into these interviews. We are pleased to present you just some of the hardworking Monroe community members in the
Perfect.
2 examples of people we had interviewed are Shannon Kelly, the varsity cheer coach, and Casey Popwell, the varsity basketball coach.
Next slide, please.
My hive and me did the children's books. The children's books were sent to Cincinnati Children's Hospital for patients and families to enjoy while they are staying there. Students focused on a happily ever after short stories with an activity page if they had time to create it. Ms. Decker helped us with this and hosted the hive. This activity helped kids see that they are recognized even though they are in the hospital with not many people around them. This was so much fun to recognize that we can bring a light into a dark place.
This project, Locker Recognition, was ran by Ms. Wiley. Being a student athlete or other extracurricular participant is something we thought should be valued and recognized, which made this project a thoughtful idea. The purpose was not only for participants to be acknowledged, but for students to be inspired to go out and try something new. An example of this was one of the tags for our student council members. Last week, when our next generation of council members sent in their applications, we had a record amount of 53. This could be due to the fact that they would like to be recognized, which makes this such an impactful project.
I was part of the bulletin board adoption group led by Miss Timmy. Our group's goal was to bring new life into 3 boards which had previously been left unused. These boards all gave positive affirmations to students in different ways. In this first slide, you'll see the Take One, Leave One board. As the leader of design in this group, I proposed this with the idea of giving students the opportunity to trade insight with each other and cultivate a sense of community by sharing pieces of advice. This Abraham Lincoln quote was made using watercolor art personally created and cut out by group members to inspire creativity in fellow classmates. The final board features a multitude of inspirational quotes to uplift students. Overall, these boards elevated our school's sense of community and pride. Thank you.
This next project was ran by Ms. Hayden, our Spanish teacher, their bilingual campus inspirational quotes. I've always believed that inclusivity is so important in making everyone feel like they're being incorporated with not only their culture or first language, but with their school, and that should be prioritized. Students feel embraced and positive after reading these signs, and they can go and spread that positivity with many. This project could also give students taking or learning Spanish a real-world practice and good example.
Our last project hive is the campus cleanup ran by Mr. Longyear. His hive chose to clean the trophy cases located on Main Street. They wanted to show our school pride of extracurricular achievements. Along with this, they wanted to keep the school clean. After all, a clean place is a safe place.
Okay, so that's just a snapshot in terms of what our 8th graders have done over the last couple months, and a big shout out to Mrs. Boggs for all of her efforts and leadership with that. Huge shout out to the kids. It's so important to give them the opportunity to serve our community, take pride in what we have here at Monroe, and we appreciate the chance to just kind of share things that we've been doing over the last few months. So thank you for your time, and students, great job. So thank you.
Awesome, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to thank the 8th graders for coming and sharing their projects. That was very informative and lots of good works going on there. Yeah, it's amazing. So, and that's all for student achievement.
All right. Thank you, 8th graders. Thank you, Mrs. Hagedorn. Moving along to section 3, comments from the public. Seeing none, we will move on to item 3.2, superintendent update. Mr. Buskirk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just reiterating what a couple people have said. Fantastic graduation last Friday. Weather ended up being perfect, and it was a tremendous ceremony. I love having it at the stadium, although 2 weeks up to it, Tom and I are looking at the weather about every 15 minutes just to check, but it's worth it in the end, because when we can have it in our own stadium where the kids feel at home, it's a great experience. Tom already talked a little bit about the second drive, and I was just going to update you that we do have a meeting scheduled Thursday to try to plan next steps, because we got to keep pushing on that one. So we are very close. Thursday, last day for everyone. Finals start tomorrow at the high school, so the 24-25 school year is almost wrapped up, and I am very proud of our students and staff this year. They've done a tremendous job. Last week we got some initial OST scores back. We don't have a ton of information. We do know it was math and social studies and language arts are coming sometime. Actually, they're supposed to come tonight, right? Wednesday. Initially, looking especially at our math scores, we have made some improvement in most areas, which is definitely a positive thing. So once we have that up, I know we get more information on that. Jody will give a presentation, as she always does, on our OST scores. Friday is the teacher workday. We have breakfast at 8, and then during the final meeting, we are recognizing our retirees. We have 6 this year, so you guys are always all welcome to come if possible. That recognition will start probably about 8:45, 9 o'clock in the auditorium. The construction update, I'm going to give a full construction update on the June board meeting, and I'll have people from MCS here to kind of give an update of where we are on both projects, the gym infill and the high school. We had some delays with the gym infill with a city permit, but we got that taken care of, so we're still on schedule. And Mitch Vickery from Conger sent a update, which I'll forward on to you guys. There are steel beams on site, so we are moving forward with that project. And lastly, I just wanted to talk teacher recognition. Teacher Appreciation Week was first week in May, I believe. And you guys have a T-shirt in front of you there that the whole staff got. On the back it says OG Hornet. I had to explain to Tom that was actually means the original Hornet, not, he thought maybe it was a misspelling of Go Hornets. So anyway, if you look at that Hornet, I also attached when I sent that message out, I don't know if you saw the video. If you didn't, you should take a look at that. That is an original, we are one of the few schools we have an original mascot that was created here in conjunction with at the time in 1955, the high school band director had a friend that was in graphic design, and they worked together to create our own mascot. And then our alma mater, I believe was it our alma mater, or it's our alma mater was written by, both were written by staff members. So there's not too many high schools around that have that originality, even though Idaho State tried to steal. They did. If you look, they're the Fighting Bees, and it's almost the exact same as, I think Tom's named him Harry the Hornet. I don't believe that's official, but that's what Tom refers to. So if you haven't checked that video out, please do. It's very, very interesting video. So other than that, I'll turn it over to Amy. I know she's got her 5-year forecast. That's the much more exciting this month.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Buskirk. Moving on to Section 4, Treasurer Consent Agenda. Mrs. Moore.
I recommend approval of the treasurer consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Mrs. Hagedorn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds.
So we have the meetings, the minutes from the last meeting, the monthly financial report. I'd like to point out on that one that it is still tied to the November forecast, so all the differences and all of that is still looking back to the November forecast. We'll switch that over once the May forecast update is approved this evening. We are still tracking very well against our forecast, but I'll talk more about that with my forecast update. Outside of that, we have our bond fund report, and we have a fund transfer on here to complete the originally planned fund transfer for the gym infill project. We originally budgeted $2 million in fiscal '25 for that, so this rounds that out. That transfer is now complete. And then we have several donations. Thank you to all who donated. And that's all I have for this section.
Any questions?
Is all the money where it's supposed to be?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the donations as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hagedorn?
Aye.
Mr. Leeds?
Aye.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Fulham?
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter?
Aye, motion carried. Section 5, Treasurer Other Business.
I recommend approval of the 5-year forecast May update.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Grant, as the motion, and thank you, Mr. Fulham, for the second.
I will note that there are 2 attachments on the agenda. One that shows just the forecast with all the numbers, and then the other one has the assumptions, so that's more of the official, that's what I'll file with the state of Ohio. But I also have a presentation that will summarize it, and a copy of this presentation is in your executive session section of your board agenda. Okay, so this has been an interesting forecast update. Technically, the May one is supposed to be the easy part. The November is the official for the year starting out. The May focuses on updating the current fiscal year. It is the second of the required updates with the state. Know that we actually can update it any time that we feel it's necessary, but there are only 2 required. One, the original in November and the update in May. With all of the budget things that are going on and not knowing exactly where the state budget is going to land, it is possible that we could do a June update to this forecast. So I will start off. The updates since November, this is operating revenue. And really, we've been tracking very well against the original forecast. The couple of larger changes was in restricted state grants, which we actually had an increase in our DPIA funding, which is Disadvantaged Pupil Impact Aid, and some of the other categorical funding, and that's just based on enrollment information that gets reported to the state. We had some jumps in those numbers, which increased our funding, and that was not expected. We also had the Science of Reading stipend running through there. This year, we've collected $133,000 in reimbursements from the state, with another around $30,000 to go. All other revenues, that one is also showing a bigger increase. Interest has done better than originally projected. And we also had, the biggest area of change was our TIF revenues, where we had a couple of properties that previously were abated. They came off of abatement, so and the building of those moved into the TIF, increasing those revenues. Expenditures get a little more interesting, mainly because they're actually tracking really well, and the 2 largest changes in here are a result of reactions to potential state budget changes. So if you see, a lot of these expenditures are right in line with the original forecast. We've made some, minor adjustments here or there. And there is a note on here that before I added the recommendation for additional uses of cash balance, in total, the expenditures are tracking to be only about 1.2% off from the original November estimations. So I will talk about the changes I'm recommending for tonight within this forecast. The debt, House Bill 264 debt, that was an energy conservation loan. That was supposed to be paid off in December of 2030. We can actually pay that off with an interest savings of about $23,000 and just go ahead and pay it off June 1 with the normal payment cycle. And I recommend that we do that and go ahead and move that in, and it takes it out of the future years of our forecast. We've got the cash balance to do it, we may as well. The other thing is in total other financing uses. The $2 million originally was a portion of the gym infill project, and we had another $900,000 scheduled for FY26. We also had the driveway project in there. I moved all of those into this year so that we can go ahead and do those transfers this year instead of having them in multiple years. And I'm also adding a transfer estimate of $200,000 to establish a termination benefits fund. And I'll bring the paperwork for that, a resolution, to the board in June to actually establish that fund. But I wanted to go ahead and set the money aside within this forecast to do that. Again, those are reactions to well, actually, the 200,000 is a reaction. The other two, it was already in the forecast, just not all this year. But I'd like to go ahead and move them to this year. Another possible change, there are several considerations, but again, it just depends on where the state leads, and we don't really know where that's going right now, but there's a possibility for a capital reserve fund. There's a possibility just to move additional funding into our PI to help fund our facilities capital plan that we just updated. So we have a lot of options, and we'll have a better direction for you in the June meeting. Any questions on that? Otherwise, this is just our cash balance. In November, we projected about $43.7 million to end with. Without adding those additional cash uses in '25, we expect to be around 44.8, which is only about 2.5% different. But then once I put in move all those other things into '25, it'll drop it down to 41.9, which is still very good for our district. And then this is just my reminder, but also disclaimer that this is all as of what we know today. It could change. It'll probably change tomorrow. And if they do get on the ballot, remove all property taxes, then we just might have a lot of days off in our future. Not really sure how that's going to work. This is nothing new. It's what we've been talking about. But this slide reflects what is actually in the state budget right now and the other bills to note. We've heard a lot of hearsay, like the 30% cash balance limitation. That one's going to be a huge impact for us. Again, we've heard that they're lightening up on that. We don't know which direction it's going to go, but as of now, it is still in there. So I don't really want to spend too much time on this one since we've been talking about it. This is an interesting slide on our per pupil funding. It just kind of shows, we talked about it, I think, at the last meeting, where it just further illustrates the difference in funding. If you look at the bottom, and I know it's very small, 2025 shows, we get the base cost, and that's the funded calculated formula cost of $8,100. The state funds us at $3,884 out of that. Next slide. And so this one is a little bit better in the sense that the gray line that goes across the base funding costs that we are getting in funding between the state and our local dollars, our actual cost is the gray line. So their calculated base cost is not what it actually costs for our students. Now this is looking at the future years and how they've changed in the forecast. And the future years, basically, you'll notice the biggest changes are with the state funding for the future. And while they say they're not going to allow any of our funding to drop below the 2025 levels, we did have originally estimated, based on trend, that we would get at least a 2% increase, average increase over the next 4 years. And that currently is not the case. They had a zero in the base cost changes. And with that, per the forecast, while it might be a slight increase, forecasted we have a 2% increase. So that is our biggest change on here. And the other change is part of that, the TIF money increasing throughout the forecast. And expenditures, again, I mentioned the transfers that are moving into fiscal '25, so all other expenditures reduced to reflect those transfers just moving fiscal years. And the other main thing that changed between November and May is that the MEA contract was approved, so we now have 3.5% cost of living in here, which before we had 2.5%. And this one is a fun one. It's just revenues and expenditures and the resulting cash balance over the years. So you can see how in 2020 to 2024, our revenues exceeded our expenditures pretty well. we've increased our spending over the last couple of years, so now it has caught up to our revenues, and our revenues have also slowed as far as trend. And then by 2029, our expenditures will outpace our revenues a fair amount, but you also have to remember that that includes some of the debt support, about $1.9 million in transfers for debt support. So that difference isn't all operating. That's all I have.
All right. Any questions?
Do we need a separate motion to pay off that debt?
Not that I'm aware of, because it is not a bond. It is, let me think about which debt this is. It is just a loan. It's a basic loan. All I have to do is sign a piece of paper saying that we intend to pay it off.
I didn't know.
Was
Yeah.
that the House Bill 264
Mhm.
thing?
The lighting retrofit?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I will double check that before I actually pay it off, but because it's a loan, I don't think we have to do anything. We do have two other, well, actually, we got word today that one of the two that I thought might work the same actually is not going to work the same, so that one's off the table. But there is one more loan that we might be able to address early, but we're waiting on information for that one.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. Thank you
Yeah.
for all the information and the forecast.
Sure.
Very well put together. Thank you.
Sorry, it was a little boring and dry.
It's the first time I've ever had somebody in a 5-year forecast say, this is a fun slide.
Yeah. I did hear that.
Okay,
Twice.
on one of them. All right.
All right, any other questions? All right. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Oh, sorry.
We got a motion by Grant and
Thank
a
you.
second by Fulham.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Fulham?
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn?
Aye.
Mr. Leeds?
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter?
Aye, motion carried. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. Moving on to Section 6, Superintendent Personnel Consent Agenda. Mr. Buskirk.
It's recommended to approve the superintendent personnel consent agenda as presented.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds.
Second.
All right, second by Mr. Grant. Thank you. All right, Mr. Buskirk.
First section is some resignations, and this next one is approval of some new teachers for next school year. We have some substitutes for the next school year, and we have a number of teachers who have completed some schoolwork to move up on the salary schedule, so congratulations to them. We currently have 2 job shares, but they have to submit a proposal each year, so we are just renewing that at this time. And then we have a large number of just contracts for staff that are being renewed, and 1 revision.
All right. Any questions?
No?
No.
All right. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Leeds?
Aye.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn?
Aye.
Mr. Fulham?
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter?
Aye, motion carried. If you're a new teacher, we would like to welcome you to Monroe, so if you could please come forward.
I have a seat.
AJ, just gonna slap it out of my hand. Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Welcome.
Can I grab a group photo if you guys want to stay up there?
Welcome. You guys get to get a pic.
Sorry we didn't give you a heads up.
You guys are up front. You guys are up front. Yes, they're supposed to bring cookies. Oh, they did.
it just a little tighter for me. Perfect. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. Hold that pose. You get it up. Little shots. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations.
We expect you to wear that pin at all times when you're out of the house.
Where's your pen?
Eat cookies at the next meeting.
All right.
You guys can't leave. You don't have to stick around. It'd be awkward, dude. But we appreciate you
You are
guys.
welcome to stay.
You're welcome to stay.
You too, Mr. Guy. You're free to go.
And they're out.
And they're out.
Enjoy this beautiful weather.
All right, moving on to Section 8, Superintendent Other Business, Mr. Buskirk.
Section 8.1, it's recommended the board approve a 3-year salary schedule for the administrators and the summary of benefits.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Fulham.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Any questions?
If you can see, it just mirrors the current MEA contract for the administrators as well.
Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Item 8.2.
It's recommended the board approve a 3-year salary schedule for the central office staff and summary of benefits.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Hagedorn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Any questions?
And that is just to mirror the same salary increase for all exempt employees.
Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Item 8.3.
It is recommended the approval of the hiring of the following new employee for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Fulham.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hagedorn. Any questions?
Are we?
All right. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Abstain, motion carried. Item 8.4.
It is recommended the board approve the annual student services contract for special programs and services.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Any questions?
All of these expenditures are Nancy Stratton's fault.
Explain yourself.
This is half of them.
Yeah, just a portion.
Right.
Noted. All right. Any other questions? All right. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Item 8.5.
It's recommended the board approve the Hamilton County ESC annual service contract.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Thank you, Mr. Grant. Questions or comments? Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Item 8.6.
It is recommended the board approve the annual Warren County summary of services for the 25-26 contract.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Hagedorn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Questions or comments? Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hagedorn,
Aye.
Mr. Leeds,
Aye.
Mr. Grant,
Aye.
Mr. Fulham,
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Item 8.7.
It's recommended the board approve the quote for the $303,830 for Ford Edge for the 750 Chromebooks damage protection, Google licensing, and Ready, Set, Go service.
may I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Fulham.
I believe this is just a timing issue that normally we do it July 1. They needed us to approve the quotes so they could actually order them and make sure they're here on time. So,
Are there some supply chain issues with Chromebooks right now?
That's
possible-
what they say.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
possible
Yeah.
tariffs or
I
something.
think a lot of businesses are using that right now.
Yep.
Just a few. We see it every day.
Because they can.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Leeds.
Aye.
Mr. Fulham.
Aye.
Mr. Grant.
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn.
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Buskirk. Moving along to Section 9, comments from the board. We will start with you, Mr. Leeds.
Well, it's been a tremendous year, and I want to thank everybody, all the staff and everyone involved. No, absolutely no criticism or anything from the public that I know of. Everybody is so positive, and people have really talked up the graduation. I mean, I've heard that from all over, and I have to agree with, I think Mr. Grant's the one that quoted it, the best graduation in the county, or in the state. How'd you put that?
Southwest Ohio.
Yeah, that
At
was
least.
good. I mean, that kind of wrapped it up. And, it was fantastic, and kids did a wonderful job. Those that spoke did a wonderful job. And like I said, the school year flew by, but a lot of positive things came out, and we're looking forward to the new building and things of that nature. The jail gym being finished and gives 8 more classrooms, but things are moving right along, which is great. And if we can keep this property tax thing going, we'll be all right. But that's going to be a challenge. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Mrs. Hagedorn?
So I kind of like to ditto. The graduation's always amazing, and it actually was a good graduation ceremony this year. I'm sure we're all going to agree with that. I think I mentioned something to Mr. Prohaska. One of my favorite things about the graduation this year was that it was a lot of student speakers. So I think that's good. You know, the students are graduating, 18, getting ready to go out and do whatever it is they're going to do in the future, but to be actually be able to lead the graduation ceremony with all the speakers. All the kids did a fabulous job. So I was really impressed with that this year. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Boggs and Mr. Stanger for coming for the student achievement and bringing the 8th graders. That was really cool to see the different things that they do during hive time. So I'd like to thank them for coming and sharing that today. Also, congratulations to staff and teachers and administrators for having a great year. It seems like every year it goes quicker and quicker as we get older and older. Time goes fly. So just congratulations on a great year, and enjoy the summer and get ready for next year. August will be here tomorrow. That's all I have for today.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Hagedorn. Mr. Grant?
I think we'll all pretty much echo each other today, but first off, I just want to thank everyone at the board office, Robert, Amy, everyone at the board office, teachers, staff, everyone, for a great, successful school year. Like Debbie said, it seems like yesterday we were having winter break, and here we are at summer break already. It's Memorial Day this weekend, so just so thank you. And then obviously the graduation, I know at the very beginning when we switched it to the stadium, there's a little hesitancy from the community a little bit of, oh, is it going to work out? I mean, it's been the best decision we ever made. As I said, I will just say it, we have the best graduation in all of Southwest Ohio, hands down. Between the excitement of the families, the excitement of the speakers, the readers, and the students' reactions when you see them out there, I just think, I think, Tom, you said it, they're just at home. So it just makes it a lot more, makes it a lot better of a graduation. So thank you for the great graduation. Other than that, have a great summer.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Grant. I think we're gonna, all right.
You good.
All right, Mr. Fulham, you can have your moment.
For all the millions of people
Yeah,
watching.
look at that crowd, man. It's the
All right.
live stream, that's what it is.
Yeah. What are we up to? 2 viewers, my mom and
Your uncle?
Been waiting for this moment all day. All right. I'd like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation for the exceptional contributions from our entire staff. The fact that we are a thriving and dynamic district fills me with immense pride, which is a testament to your unwavering dedication and commitment. The engaged students, innovative programs, and supportive learning environments that define our district speak volumes about your hard work and passion. Your commitment to the success and well-being of our children is deeply valued, and for that I am truly thankful. It brings great comfort and confidence to the entire community to know that such dedicated and caring professionals are guiding the education of our students. Your passion for teaching, your tireless efforts in administration, and your genuine care for each child are fundamental to our district's strength. You are shaping not only academic futures, but also the character and potential of the next generation. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to our students. Now, for our high fives, I've got high fives to our students who showcase their creativity in the annual art shows. This event provides a wonderful opportunity to witness the fantastic projects our students have poured their energy into all year, highlighting the exceptional talent we have. I always look forward to seeing the impressive quality and the evident effort invested in each artwork. High fives to 6 outstanding individuals who were recognized at our spring college signing ceremony. Congratulations to Brooklyn, Braden, Jaden, Caleb, Carson, Nathan, and AJ, who will be continuing their academic and athletic careers at the collegiate level. This momentous occasion reflects their talent, hard work, and the unwavering support of their families, coaches, and our entire school community. We are incredibly proud to see them represent Monroe as they embark on this exciting new chapter. And finally, high fives to the Monroe High School's distinguished class of 2025. I offer you each my sincerest congratulations on this significant milestone. It's always an honor as a board member to share in your commencement ceremony and witness you walk across the stage under the lights of Hornet Stadium and celebrate one last time as a class as you take in that awesome firework display. The exceptional talent and hard work evident in the young men and women of Monroe are truly remarkable, and I eagerly anticipate all that you will accomplish as you turn this chapter. While Monroe will forever be your home, I encourage you to venture out and discover the excitement and success the world holds. You possess the preparation and resources to achieve your aspirations, so approach every opportunity with fearless passion and unwavering conviction. End.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fulham. I'll keep it short. Like everyone else said, graduation was a wonderful time. We had a beautiful night. The students really enjoyed themselves. It was great watching them all mingle afterward on the stadium turf, and you can tell they're gonna miss each other quite a bit. Mrs. Hagedorn mentioned the thespian troupe, and I guess like our theater department, the awards within Vista. One of the cool things is because they were ranked outstanding, they get to perform on stage for each one of those performances. So if you want to go check it out, it's pretty cool. It's a really neat evening. So all the other schools in the Miami Valley area that were also ranked outstanding, they also perform on stage. So it's pretty interesting. This really cool kid of mine that I know, she's getting an award too, so I'm a little biased. But aside from that, everyone have a great rest of the school year. We have 4 days left, so 3 days left?
3 with
2.5. So make the most of it, I guess. But enjoy your summer. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn to executive session. It is recommended the board adjourn to executive session to enter into, and what in the world? This is confusing.
What are we doing?
Enter into executive session to consider the employment, compensation, dismissal, discipline of a public employee, and the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual per Ohio Revised Code 121.22G. No action will be taken. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leeds. Mrs. Moore, please call the roll.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Leeds?
Aye.
Mrs. Hagedorn?
Aye.
Mr. Fulham?
Aye.
Mr. Carpenter?
Aye, motion carried. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Did you guys all know that Logan's leaving us?
No?
No.
Gotta say your goodbyes. This is the last one.
Oh, this is your last board meeting, isn't it?
We didn't approve that.
Well, thank you, Logan.
No, I don't think I saw that
I
on the
didn't see
agenda.
it. Was his name on there?
Why?
Deer Park.
Bill Cunningham?
Congratulations.
Oh, don't congratulate him. We don't want him to go. Huh? Yeah, yeah.